Memories are incredible things. They allow you to race back to those special times. Close your eyes and you can almost relive those moments.
So this is a real baptism of fire. I mean, I've heard so much about the Goodwood circuit. This is my first look at it. It feels a little bit sharper. It feels a little bit more precise. And that is what you're looking for when you've got an AMR, Aston Martin Racing badge, associated with it. We'll speak about unexpected. I never thought I'd find myself sitting at Goodwood getting ready to go up the hill. This is the latest version of the 991 GT3 RS. And then we found this piece of road. I know they talk about the hills being alive with the sound of music. It must sound so amazing, echoing, reverberating through these mountains.
Yeah, no, I've been incredibly fortunate. I think these are experiences that for sure you're going to find on every petrolhead's bucket list. But you know that there's still one on mine. And this over here is my passport to unlocking the greatest spectacle on 2 wheels and 3. So come on, take the road with me to the Isle of Man.
When you boarding a little turboprop to the Isle of Man on this particular 2-week period, you know that every person that's going there is not going for sightseeing or to play golf. They're going to watch the greatest spectacle on 2 wheels. We've got a couple of South Africans that have come over with Monster as well, and everyone, it's bucket list, bucket list, bucket list. That's the word that gets thrown around a lot, and this event like no other. And you can just see there's a real energy with those guys waiting to board the plane.
Your shot and landing. Laptop computers and other large devices should be switched off and safely stored within your hand baggage, after which all items should be placed in the overhead lockers or well underneath the seat in front.
Yeah, no, I get that. I'm just worried about this. It's really hard to believe that we're in the UK. It's like not a breath of wind, sunshine. It is flipping amazing. This is a little bay just below where we're staying. I've probably seen like 1/10 of Isle of Man, and what I've seen is just so flipping breathtakingly beautiful. You know, the cliffs and the coastline, so dramatic. Feeling like a bit of a tourist today, but I think that's what's so great about this event too, is that you know you have days off. It gives you time to be a fanatic and plenty of time to be a tourist as well. I guess the riders need a break, just collect themselves. But let's not forget, like, it's not a racetrack, so you can't just bring the whole island to a grinding halt because you're racing around the public roads. So the system seems to work pretty well. How very British. Most amazing view. Fish and chips. Now this is how this thing starts. But can you imagine when we get to bikes racing? It's going to be next level. I'm tempted to go for a swim. Do have my speedo, of course. Are banana hammocks big in the UK, do you think? I really have to man up here because this water is not warm. We're talking Cape Town. The speedo is probably not the best idea either. Hey? I'm definitely not going to be manning up in that. Hi, mother. So cool. At 9:15 with the sun dipping over Douglas, signalling the end of an unbelievable first day on the island, we realised we weren't the only ones in good spirits. Well, those definitely weren't the Bee Gees last night, but today is race day and there will be some real superstars putting on a show.
When I first came here when I was 10 years old, I was a fan. So, you know, when I asked for Joey Dunlop's autograph or one of the top guys, and they said no, they were off my tick list, you know. So I respect the fans. Without fans with nothing. I grew up with as well, you know, my dad raced. I always used to watch all the trucks and the bikes and everything going through our village to go to the ferry, and I was like, oh wow, you know, just sit there watching all. I'd be like, oh, there's, you know, Joey, there's the Rothman truck. I used to love it, and I came across on my bicycle when I was 12, 13, 14 years old on my own. I came in the morning, watched the race, and went back on the night. And
just to be a part of it.
Yeah, I came lots of times. Came when I was 17 on my TZR 125 Yamaha. I came in when I was 18 with my wife, who's still my wife now, on my KR1S Kawasaki in 1990, you know, and just did laps and laps and laps and laps, and, you know, memorised it all and knew one day I was going to do it. And first time in 1996 on a little 250, so we're still here after all these years. You know, the most important thing is when you see somebody who's been coming for years and they thank me for watching me do what I do on my journey for the last 20 odd years, and that means the world to me, you know.
You've achieved so much. There's no reason for you to keep doing TT at 51.
Yeah.
Is that why you're still here?
Well, you know, I thought at 51 I'd be well done. You know, I thought I'd be retired from racing, but I'm still holding my own. I'm still going okay. I'm still battling for top 6 places. You know, it's not all about the winning now for me. It's about competing. It's a bit of a disease, like a drug for me, and I can't. It won't let go of me. You know, I've still got the opportunity to ride fantastic bikes. You know, the family have 100% support for me. My sponsors are still loyal, and you know, it's going to be a big hole to fill, you know, when I stop. And you know, Barry Sheen died of cancer at 52. You know, I'm 52 next, so you don't know what's around the corner. So at the minute, I'm going to just take everything I can and enjoy my life. And it's just been an amazing journey. I just carry on while I can.
Now, so this is cool. We're walking into the TT start grid and paddock. Quite an impressive setup. But what is interesting, we've obviously been loving the good weather. Today is not so great. Actually, a bit of rain when we came driving in now. Obviously, over such a massive course, they've got a whole bunch of spotters out there that'll be giving them advice whether they need to change tires or not. But it really has mixed things up a little bit. But yeah, I'm stoked. We're finally at the start. For a first time the TT setup and race formats can be rather overwhelming because it does run like no other motorsport event that I've ever been a part of. And I guess that's because the 60-kilometer course is on public roads. The road course sees riders blasting through small towns, whipping across farmlands as they go coast to coast before climbing out of Ramsey and carving up Snaffell Mountain Road, the only section of road in the British Isles with no speed limit, like that matters now. And 260 corners later, they complete the lap back in Douglas.
I mean, it's 37 3/4 miles round, it's 260 corners, you've got everything thrown at you, you know, manholes, curves, lampposts, trees, a real mountain, you know, so yeah, it's got every type of corner, and, you know, it's 1907, my maths aren't very good, but that's a long time, it's been going a long time, it still draws people here, people still love it, spectators still love it, so long may it continue.
The event runs over a 2-week period. The first week is all about practice and qualifying, and all the sessions are run in the evening, minimizing disruption for locals and I guess giving them time to get home, grab a drink and enjoy a front garden view of the action. The second week is when we go racing, with 2 races per day on each of the race days. The race itself sees the riders being sent out in 10-second intervals, and they are racing the clock from the start, so they have to be 100% on it from the get-go. Now, with the differing speeds between riders, there is the added challenge of overtaking, like the course wasn't challenging enough. Just insane. Race durations vary between 3 and 6 laps, which brings in another unique TT element, the pit stop. And with the race lasting anything from an hour to 2 hours, these are much needed 30-second breathers for the riders. So we decided to jump in a taxi and head out to Crosby, 5 miles into the course, to get close to the action. Getting there proved quite the adventure. Moving along in the taxi because we nearly got dropped off in the middle of nowhere. And we thought we were in the right place on the map, and it would have been probably a 10-mile hike, and we never found the track. I think Ryan checked Cliff Boy. It's properly into
I don't know if we're in the right.
I love the fact that there's it's real, it's raw. There's no sitting and looking cool, sipping your champagne and clocking around in high heel shoes at Isle of Man. That's for softies. This is proper hiking through a farm. Here comes a car. This is a farmer. Shall I open the gate for him?
Let's see what he says.
Oh, I've gone the wrong way. What a twat. Is that going there? Can we? Are we going the right way? Yeah. Yay! Success. The champion. How's this for a win? I've got my butt cheeks on full clench mode. But seriously, there is no other event like that, 100%. Take it good. No? Did you miss us?
We did miss you a lot.
And we're glad Pino made it.
How proper is this?
Yeah,
in the middle of flipping nowhere.
And these are so crazy. The speeds coming past you is ridiculous.
Right, here's what makes Isle of Man absolutely crazy. I've done Lamar 24-hour access to trackside is... Well, you just don't get to do this. I mean, if I want to be a complete moron and decide that my days on this earth are ending now, I could just run across here. It's not closed off. It's like there's so much trust of the fan to keep themselves safe here. It's unbelievable. These speeds are so hard for us. I'm trying to film this and give you an idea, but it's nuts. Have a look at this. Mad. And just behind me, over that little bump, the bike gets properly airborne and they're out of the saddle too. It's mad. Have a look at this. Let's try and follow these. Crazy. That's all I can say. Where are you guys from?
I'm from South East England.
Where?
Brighton.
And what brings you here?
Canada, born and bred.
Canada.
Yeah.
And you?
Glenn May, I'm a newcomer this year.
Well, you guys, have you got bikes? Are you bike guys?
Me and him at BSB.
Oh, really?
He's riding today.
In the 600s.
What's wrong with you?
What's right with him, actually?
What's your name?
George Halliday.
George. You know, everyone all bitches and moans the world's gone all soft and safe.
Oh, this is the one thing which says no to that.
I feel like those people that hate and say, oh, people should be riding, should come and actually watch it and feel the experience. Go to the paddock. Yeah.
Change their mind, 100%.
What goes through your head before start?
No, it's weird. As soon as you put that helmet on, you've got a clear mind. You haven't got time to think about anything else. You're that focused and everything's going past that fast. Yeah, you've just got to think about 2-3 corners ahead all the time.
How do you sight the lap though? I mean, are you able to come here during off season and do a few
Fortunately,
laps?
I live about 5 miles away. I live on the island, so I've just done like hundreds and hundreds of laps. I've put about 10,000 miles on my van, just doing laps. But yeah, watching hours of onboards, simulator.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just as much course knowledge and do as much homework as you can is.
But you know what the hard thing as well is? Going over a bump in your van at 40 is very different to hitting.
It isn't a bumper when you're doing 40. That's what I mean.
Exactly. So you actually do need to do it at speed.
That's the thing. You can watch as many onboards as you want and do as many laps in your van, but yeah, to get a real idea of where the bumps are and how severe the compressions are on the bike.
We'll go into it 110%.
Yeah.
Now there are 4 classes and 2 races per class. George is competing in the Super Sport class, and this sees a mix of 600cc 4-cylinder and 675cc 3-cylinder bikes. Being lighter and less powerful than the super bikes, you find the riders actually having to adapt a different riding style. What is really important here is the need to carry as much corner speed as possible.
How did race 1 go?
Race 1 was unbelievable, really, for me. We've been getting faster and faster each lap we do, so to do 116.8.
Average in miles for South Africans.
Yeah. So, yeah, from that first ever road race, it's all completely new to me, so to do that, I was absolutely buzzing.
This year, Michael Dunlop did the unthinkable, breaking into the 130-mile-per-hour club as he absolutely dominated this class with a new speed record, lap record and race record, winning both of the 4-lap races. The podium was the same for both races, with Peter Hickman in second and Dean Harrison in third. George was absolutely stoked with his first TT experience, finishing as the second fastest newcomer in both races. The Super Twins are the newest addition to the TT, powered by 700cc twin-cylinder engines and adapted from middleweight road bikes. For many, this is viewed as the low-cost, low-power entry into the TT. Average speeds for their 3-lap races are just over 120 miles an hour. Michael Dunlop won the first race and was expected to equal his Uncle Joey's record of 26 TT wins in race 2, but he had to retire with mechanical issues, handing the race 2 victory to Peter Hickman. The Superstar class is for 1000cc production bikes, but what I really like here is that the regulations are strict. The engine, the frame and the electronics have to remain stock standard, keeping these bikes as close as possible to what you and I can buy in the showroom, so there is plenty of interest in this class. Peter Hickman went on to do the double, absolutely smashing the class, race and lap record.
The reason why the lap records are going this way is because of the weather. Everybody's on the bike Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Everybody's bike's going good. Everybody's fit, healthy, strong, hungry. Yeah. So all the stars are lined up for big speeds, and that's what we're getting today.
How important are tyres and how much choice have you got? Are you running multi-compound here? Because I imagine the middle of the tyre is actually doing a load of work.
Yeah, that's the difference between a short circuit. You're a lot more on the centre of the tyre, just trying to carry the corner speed and just getting on the fat part of the tyre for the drive for the exit. So yeah, we're running slightly different compounds here, using a number 4 on the Dunlop for the rear. So yeah, just a slightly harder. Fronts we're using the same Pro 1 front, but yeah, I won't use anything else apart from the Dunlops around here.
But then you also do need the edge grip to be there when you turn in.
That's the thing, because some corners you can ride them like a short circuit. You need the best of both worlds really. You need the edge grip as well as like the stability of a harder carcass, so it's not moving at high speeds as well.
100%. And also I did have a chat to the Dunlop people here, and they're telling you now they're doing 2 laps at a time on a slick. I mean, that's 37 miles times 2. It's crazy what they're doing. And out of the box, it's really, really good and impressive on the tyre front.
Is there a perfect lap, a perfect setup?
No, No, I think the perfect lap round here with all the sectors together is 136 mile an hour. But when I had the outright lap record here for a long time, I think I only had two sectors that I was the fastest. So the wind might change. You know, you might just get a little bit of a slide. It's really hard to get 260 corners right. To be fair, it's impossible, really.
Yeah.
Every lap.
I think if you ask anyone, I don't think you can have a perfect setup round here because it's such a compromise with the bumps and then you've got that one of everything to try and get right. That's it, yeah. If you go onto the mountain, it's like a short circuit. It's nice and smooth. It's open. You can see through the corners as well. But then you come into like the first or second sector, and especially from the run from Ginger Hall to Ramsey, it's so bumpy. And yeah, through the bottom of the garage, if you made it that stiff so it didn't bottom out there, it would be kicking you out of the seat everywhere else. So some things you've got to put up with.
And then of course you get the big boys, the super bikes, which like the super stocks are also 1000cc production bikes, and at first glance they may look exactly the same, but the regulations here allow the engineers and tuners to tweak engine performance and to upgrade suspensions. These are the rocket ships that traditionally hold all of the lap records at the TT. Michael Dunlop won the first 6-lap race from Peter Hickman, but it would be Hickman who closed out the 2023 TT on the top step of the podium, his 13th win, and matching Michael Dunlop with 4 race wins at this year's event.
No, I definitely want to do that. How mad is this event?
You can't put into words how crazy it is to be the vibe. The island shutting down for 2 weeks to just let a few nutters race down the street. Watching it in real life for the first time, I can't even describe how crazy it is. I've seen Ken Block's Huniken, I've seen Peter Solberg's VW. There's nothing that compares to these guys cruising down here 300 over this little bump. No barriers, no safety, anything. Their life is literally on the line.
We spoke about the safety. I mean, is it something you ever sit and think about?
I suppose you've probably got more time to reflect about it before in the build-up to the race, but as soon as you're on the grid and you put your helmet on, it don't cross your mind. You're just focused on what you're about to do there, and yeah, a few corners.
You know a thing or two about bikes?
That I do.
Your boy racing?
Yeah, he's racing in Spain in the ESPK Championship.
Your son said to you, I want to do this, Dad. Where would your head be at?
So, obviously as a father, safety first. As a career, if it would make him go further, I would say maybe, but I would be hesitant as a father to allow him to do it. Racing on a track, you have the freedom to fall. Yeah, you don't have the freedom to fall. You fall, it's possible you're going to die, you know.
And what do the folks say?
Parents, they are supportive. Don't get me wrong, it's such a selfish sport. So, but yeah, they're as supportive as they can be to put me on the best equipment we can afford and just try and make it as safe as it possibly can be. I think you've got to have the backing of so many people, your family, your friends, sponsors. Yeah, they all play a vital part.
And if lapping this course isn't crazy enough for you, why not take your mate along for the ride? We are talking the sidecar races. Custom built 600cc 3-wheeled machines and totally dominated by the Birchall brothers Tom and Ben. They smashed all of their own records again this year and became the first pair to lap the course at an average speed above 120 miles an hour. These guys are nuts.
Should an event like this carry on?
Yes, for sure. It has history. It brings people to an island that they've never seen before. They're seeing things that they've never seen. The way that the guys handle their bikes, the setups, everything. Just the pure adrenaline and the excitement of people when they see those bikes come this close past you. It's ridiculous. These guys are crazy. I find them crazier than any MotoGP superbike car rider ever in life. These oaks have got serious balls. Big brass balls, absolutely.
Ramsey tower.
This this is a very intelligent conversation that's going on here between Ryan and myself as we try and work out how the tram goes. Why? Because we're freaking lazy and we're tired of walking up and down the hill. It's a killer. Have you figured it out? So what's that?
Ramsey's a different town.
Okay, so we between Douglas and Ramsey.
Yeah, so we're not looking for that tram.
All the way around. You see, it runs. So that's the time. So every half an hour, that's the schedule, from what I can see. You've got to get on it.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yep, it certainly would be fun, but not today. We've got races to get to, and even the cold start couldn't dampen spirits.
We love you all, we did. We love you all, we did. Oh, hey, we love you.
And of course, Dean has finished second in the first 15 days.
The breakfast of champions.
Can he go one better in the super stock class?
Line our stomach. This is the way. So apparently the sun's coming out again this afternoon, but right now, I cannot believe this is summer in the Isle of Man. It is freezing. Are you having a smoothie? That time.
Healthy man, healthy man.
Yeah, it is. Michael will be using that to his advantage. He's one of the hot favourites in the super stock race. As we see David
very good,
launching that Malengo by Agents Honda off.
On track, it was the second race for the sidecar teams that was keeping the crowds enthralled. So this is a rider's compound. They've all got these massive motorhomes, so they never really have to leave the circuit because traffic can obviously be quite a mission getting in and out, and I think the guys would rather be here. I think it's such a cool vibe because at the end of a race day they all sit here, fire up the braais and have a really cool catch up. But there's just so much stuff that's happening, you know. I think people come here, the guys are out on circuit at the moment, but there's fan zones and such cool things like having your hair cut. How many heads of hair do you think you've cut?
So far?
Yeah.
Probably close to 60, 70 people.
That's flipping crazy.
In like 3 days.
Wow. You tired of heads yet?
No, we love it, mate. We love it.
Very nice. Tattoo, I'm not so sure about it.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, to be honest. Like, it's a pinch yourself moment, to be honest. To be allowed out to let loose, yeah, it's so surreal. And also we have the ramp there as well, so that's something different. Then we have 5 Harley Davidsons doing wheelies. Yeah, my life's mental. It's great, honestly.
A lot of people think these things are too heavy to wheelie and stuff, and we show them that you can do it on a 650-pound Harley Davidson, right? It's just like anything else, but we get it done. So it's a fine line between spinning the tire and not giving it enough to bring the front wheel up. Since the bike's so heavy, you got to clutch it. I run a little bit lower of a bar. I feel like for me, it's better for steering. It's a little bit easier to drift and slide the bike when the bars are lower, kind of like flat track style, dirt track race style. We've done so many tours all over the United States. People are like, oh yeah, we've seen it, you know? Now we come over here, people have never seen it, and it's refreshing. It's like how it used to be, you know, when we first started. I've been watching TT since I was a little kid. My dad's had me into motorcycles very early, so I've been following this. 100% different experience when you see it live. The hair on my neck, I got chills the first time the guys went by me on the super bikes. They're heroes, legends. It's a different level. They're putting their lives on the line, and I'm putting my pride on the line. If I crash, I'll get back up, scrape up the bike a little bit, and I'll do it again tomorrow.
As the crowds filed in, the clouds filed out, and as predicted, we had perfect conditions and a full house for the second Supersport race.
Remember I said your Isle of Man's quite like raw. There's no ego, no attitudes, no nonsense. Well, sitting on the floor, eating a pizza, it's pretty grounded, I think. Ham and pineapple. I like Isle of Man. They call it the weirdo. Sounds about right though. Anyway, we're waiting for the monster second race coming up. So yeah, looking forward to that.
So Michael, all it took to get a smile on your face was 130 mile an hour Supersport, lap record, and 25 TT wins. Well done.
Yeah, if someone said you're going to do 130 this race, you'd think, I'd have won that. But fantastic to see Michael absolutely on form, and it's making the racing better, it's making this event better, and it's making me better. You know, it motivates me even more. People constantly think that it means that I'm going to hate him or whatever, but honestly, complete opposite. Absolute admiration.
Well, the rivalry certainly did bring out the very best in Peter Hickman, who just 2 days later recorded the fastest ever lap of the Mann circuit, averaging just over 136 miles an hour on his way to his second Superstock victory. Incredible.
Yeah, this is what I love. The road's all open again. It's kind of back to normal for the locals. Tomorrow's a day off from racing, and then it resumes again on Friday and Saturday being the last days. But you know, this was a bucket list experience for me, something that I wanted to do. And you know, often the case with things like this is there's so much hype and so much energy around it, and then when you finally do get to experience it, it can be a bit of a letdown. No, not the case at TT. In actual fact, I can't believe how far off the mark I was. I mean, I knew it would be flipping insane, but I think when you do get here, you really do appreciate these are regular roads. There are walls, there are houses, and how close you get to the riders, and the action is just, there is no other event like this in the world.
Nor is there a party like a monster party. So with the day off, that is exactly what we did.
Can you mix this up?
Yeah,
please?
we'll get
What a night. What we really needed was some soul cleansing and the hair of the dog. Well, we found both in the beautiful town of Laxey. And getting there meant we finally got to catch that tram. This is just so unbelievably beautiful. I mean, the tram's been running since 1893, and what a superb way to discover the Isle of Man. The cool thing though with the bike race is that it takes the riders through such a big part of the island, and I suppose from a spectator point of view, so many cool places along the routes to go and watch. I mean, literally we've gone 5 miles along the route at Crosby where we watched, but I mean there's so many other places. We could take the tram all the way to Ramsey, which is where the riders turn around and head back. It really is, it's unbelievably beautiful. Wow, I kind of feel like I've been transported to another time. Now, just when I thought that I'd seen it all, the TT delivered another highlight. The Red Arrows flew across to put on a show. Talk about a front row seat and a fitting send-off to an incredible week. I'm just absolutely stoked that I got to experience this. It's I want to be back, because now you really have a taste for it, and I think I've only seen a little bit of it. You know, I'd love to spend more time with locals and go and get to other viewing points and really get to appreciate this, because it's so, yeah, we've had a little snapshot of it and it's been unbelievable. And these riders, you should know their names, because they are gladiators. This is life and death, and when you have a look at how they interact with the crowds and how they stop and sign autographs and the access that you have as a fan, there is zero attitude. There's no prima donna status here, and that for me is what makes them true superstars. This is real. This is crazy. This is raw. Welcome to the Isle of Man, TT.